What you're about to listen to is a Bry-Fy production.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Bry-Fy podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Bry-Fy, your guy, your pop culture guy, whatever. Well, we've had this discussion many times. Anyway, I know it's late. I'm on the good mic, talking low, talking slow, trying to, get you feeling good. No, my son's laying down with Casey, my wife, and so I don't want to make too much noise because I'm in the office, so I don't want to wake them up. But anyway, got a short episode for you guys tonight. Hopefully you enjoy, and then we'll see you guys next week. But with that all being said, let's move on to the nifty nerd news. All right, guys, up first in the nifty nerd news, it looks like the Marvel's Fantastic Four movie has a release date for the first trailer for this movie. So everyone's been like super stoked. And I think some of us have pretty much guessed when it was going to be, what big event is coming up here in the next couple of weeks. It's the Super Bowl. Super Bowl is coming out next week, actually. I think this week is the Pro Bowl or whatever they call it. Like the not celebrity, but like, they get all the big name guys come in, like the All-Star game for football, I guess. I don't know. I don't really watch it. No. But next week is the Super Bowl. And what comes out during the Super Bowl? Commercials. Like really fun. Well, it used to be better. Like, I feel like nowadays watching the Super Bowl, the commercials haven't been quite as good. But now we're going to throw in the Fantastic Four First Steps First trailer. So now I'm down. Like, this is when I get excited. So that's good, man. Like, we know they've been filming. We've been really excited because we've seen Pedro Pascal, like behind the scenes, like trying to be hidden, but in the Reed Richards costume. So we're really stoked about that. Moving on, the next thing we have Patti LuPone, who was the person behind Agatha all along. Or no, she's sorry. She's one of the actresses. She's saying in an interview that there's not going to be a season 2 of Agatha all along. With trying not to spoil too much of what happens in the season, because it's really good. I think it's really worth a watch, whether you like Marvel movies or not, because it's definitely Marvel adjacent. I mean, the characters are Marvel based, but it doesn't tie in with too much proper. I mean, it does make quite a bit of references to WandaVision, and so that's important. But like knowing, like, kind of like the synopsis of WandaVision will help you for Agatha all along, but it will not make the show Agatha all along. You can watch it without it, and things will just kind of make sense as they go along. But anyway, so one of the actresses, Patti LuPone, says they're not getting a season 2, which kind of stinks. But then when you think about how season 1 ends, it kind of makes sense that there wouldn't be one. Just where some of the people in it go, like different paths, some not alive. You couldn't really have another season of this same show. So it'll be interesting. I'm not saying that these characters will not return in a different show or a movie or what have you, but you will not be getting another Agatha all along or a season 2 of Agatha all alone. Talking about characters in their debuts, but there is a rumor that we are going to be getting a Ghost Rider in Avengers Doomsday, and an even bigger rumor on who that person might be that's playing Ghost Rider. Some of them have said it could be a star by the name of Ryan. No, not Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling, which would be really interesting. But then, there were talks that Nicolas Cage was supposed to come back for something to be a Ghost Rider there. And like I said, this is just a huge rumor, but could be really cool, man. If so, Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling does have a pretty good sense of humor. I think he could lend himself and like his style of acting well to the Marvel universe, and I think it'd be really interesting. Then again, like it'd be cool if they just got like some young unknown, like, and then there's different Ghost Riders. You know, we've done the like what is it, Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider. Like let's go with the younger one. We've already had what's his name, Hector. What was it? Was it Hector Hernandez? I can't remember. The one who drove a car. He like drove like a badass muscle car as his Ghost Rider. But we could go back to that and try that again. I don't know. We could see. But interesting stuff, dude. And then under the least interesting things, and kind of just plain weird. So a new Spider-Man show is coming out on Disney Plus. It's called Your Friendlyhood Spider-Man. It's going to be an animated series. And the lead voice actor for the show just had to open his mouth. Like, I don't know. Like, just, like, said things that just didn't need to be said prior to this show coming out. So I'm not sure the actual line of questioning that led him to this, but it ultimately, Hudson Thames, the voice of the Spider-Man in the new show, said his biggest fear was that the show was going to be annoying and woke. Which, what? like were they asking him, what were your fears going into doing this? And he's like, I thought it was going to be too woke. First off, Spider-Man is like all inclusive. Like that's kind of like his deal, and like helping everybody no matter their background or whatever. Like he has a sickness and that's to save everybody, and he has huge regrets because he was never able to save his Uncle Ben and all these things. And so like for and like we get it, like actors are not the characters, right? Like we know that they are human beings who have different walks of life and everything from their characters. But at the same time, when you're trying to promote your movie, you kind of want to keep some of that hidden or like, you know, don't say the quiet parts out loud, so to speak. Whether like, I don't know whether it's true or not, or like whether you believe, it's just, you shouldn't say that kind of crap. Like it has nothing to do to help promote the show. It has nothing to do, like, I don't know, like you just didn't need to say it. Like that's the whole point. Whether you agree or disagree, whether the show is woke or not woke, like why bring that up? I don't know. I'm just dumbfounded by it. I just can't fathom why you would need, like, why he feels the need to say those kind of things. Because even like saying that, whether what side you fall on or don't fall on, you're alienating potentially half of your audience either way, right? Like if I was coming out doing a thing, it's like, man, you know, I just wanted to make sure it was super woke. Like I needed that. Like that's still like, because let's face it, whether we like it or not, Disney is a business, you know, Marvel is a business. So they need to make things that reach the widest audience that they possibly can. So it's typically smart not to get political in your interviews or anything like that, because it helps, you know, the ambiguousness of it all. And it lets everyone, like much like Spider-Man, it lets anyone see themselves in the character. You know, that's kind of like the whole point of Spider-Man, why he wears the mask. You know, it could be anyone under that mask. It could be anyone from any race, any background, any gender, any sexuality, because that's the beauty of the mask. Is it's an alternate ego. It hides a secret identity. And unfortunately, interviews and talking to actors behind those masks, you know, kind of ruins that illusion. And I mean, we get introduced to Peter Parker like in comics, so we know who Peter is as a person, and that is a good person who wants to help others. And I think for a lot of people, you might find his character traits in the way he treats others and tries to help, you might find that woke behavior. And so, like, saying that you didn't want the show to be woke is almost in a way saying you didn't want it to be Peter. Like, you wanted it to be different. And so, and which I don't know if that's 100% true to the character, just based on that. And also, this gets me into the thing of, like, why is woke a bad thing? Like, I don't, you know what? I don't want to get into it. It's too late at night. And I just, like, I wanted to like this show, but now because of this, because of what's his name, the voice actor of Miles Morales and the crap that he said about a girl, like, your heroes live long enough to become the bad guys, right? I'm sad. Anyway, that's it, guys. That was my depressing. Things were going so well. Hey, speaking of Spider-Man and going so well, there's a new issue number one coming out for Spider-Man, which, Marvel does periodically. It's used as kind of like to reset the story, and also it's used as a way to get new readers back into comic books. And one of the complaints that I've had here recently is, I'm tired of the cyclical nature of it, and like I don't even know where the stories are, so why would I want to jump in and stuff? And then, they do a new number one, which is supposed to be kind of like a jumping on point, and it's kind of like catered to someone like me, and it's like, well, here, try again. And sometimes part of the cyclical nature and some of the benefits of it is that it's, you can step into a new story and kind of almost get reintroduced to the character. So like there are some good points to it, and maybe I only see it that way because I've been removed from Spider-Man for a few years. Like I said, the last big runs that I've read were the Superior Spider-Man through Spider-Verse stuff, and then I kind of fell off of it. I just kind of stopped reading comics. And so now it's kind of like, you've been, distance makes the heart grow fonder. And so I'm kind of like, maybe it's time to come back. Maybe it's time to read Spider-Man some more. Maybe it's time to get my Marvel Unlimited account back up and see what's out there. See if there's some new number ones I could be getting into. I don't know. Because I like reading comic books. I mean, comic books are really fun and you get lost in them. And it's like reading a book, but it has colors and pictures. Well, some of them have colors, some of them don't. But it has pictures and images that just help your imagination and let you really delve deep into these worlds, which I really enjoy. But yeah, that's it. Anyway, that's all I got for the nifty nerd news, guys. Up next, since we're talking about comic books, I'm going to talk more about another comic book that I've been excited to read again, and I got 4 issues of it. So we'll do a quick overview of it, and then I'll let you guys go for your weekend. But thanks for sticking around this long. Just staying tuned for just a little bit longer. We'll talk about one of my favorite comic books, Saga. All right, guys, so we are here for the last part of the Bry-Fy podcast, and we're talking about a comic book again. It feels like it's been so long since I've talked about a comic book, at least half a year, I think, since the last comic I've ever talked about. And I think the last comic we talked about was Saga. Maybe we had some other stuff sprinkled in there, but Saga is like the major comic book that I'm still following to this day because it's just a fantastic story, man. If y'all have listened to past episodes, you've probably heard me talk about it, but here's a brief, just kind of like introduction to it. It's like Star Wars meets Lord of the Rings meets Star Trek meets just the Romeo and Juliets and other great epics of our time. And it is, I mean, it pretty much, I guess it's like Romeo and Juliet meets Lord of the Star Wars rings and Game of Thrones. Like it's like all these things. There's so much drama, there's so much joy, there's so much love and laughter and sadness. There's just so many emotions through it. It's the story of 2 star-crossed lovers from warring worlds, or a world and its moon, One of them has horns, the other has wings, and the two sides hate each other. But through this myth, or like through this chaos and war, these two find each other and fall in love and have a kid. And now they both go on the run because it's blasphemous. How dare they sire offspring? And that creates a quote unquote abomination. It's not really. It's a lovely child named Hazel, who is the narrator of our story. And she has both wings and horns. And it's a story of this family going on the run, trying to stay as close as a family. You know, like it's just about their ups and downs and running and succeeding and failing and all these things, much like a family does struggle through, except, you know, this family, unlike most of us, this family is going through a crazy war zone and being hunted by bounty hunters and governments and things like that. So, you know, a little bit of the fantastical. It's got a bit of fantasy and a lot of bit of fantasy, a lot of bit of sci-fi. It's a beautiful mix of the two. And we are 71 issues in, and I just picked up 68 through 70. So I'm all caught up now. The next issue, 72, which will close out this season, this chapter, or this couple of chapters, like this story arc. There you go. Story arc is the word I was looking for. That should be coming out February 19th. So really soon. But I had to talk about these books. Like, I can't wait until mid-February to talk about Saga. I need to talk about Saga now. But, yeah, so we'll just kind of go quick. First off, these all look amazing. Like, I can't tell you how much I love Fiona Staples' artwork in the Saga franchise. The whole series has been drawn by Fiona Staples, and like, that's just amazing. You know, some comics, like with Marvel and DC, they have like rotating artists, or, you know, an artist will do maybe like 5 issues, take a break, and some of the different artists will come in. Very rarely do you have the same artist do all the art for every issue in a series. But Saga does take like 6-month hiatuses. So like, they'll take a break for 6 months, which allows Fiona and then the writer Brian K. Vaughan to work together, get these issues and these stories lined out, and then they release them after that. And so that helps, you know, going on breaks like that. Where, you know, Marvel and DC, they're putting out these comics on a monthly basis, sometimes twice a month. And so I can see, you know, how as an artist that is difficult to keep up that pace. So like, that's one of the pluses of Saga. You know, it's an independent title. It can take breaks, and it's garnered, or it's, what is the word? It has an audience that is understanding, and we're all willing to wait. But anyway, so moving on from the fantastic artwork, the story's great, man. I'm loving where we're at. The drama is building up again. Like, things have kind of settled out a little bit in these last couple of issues. Like, there's been just fallout from different things that have been happening. And so Alana and Hazel and Alana's adoptive son, Sire, are all working at the carnival. They're all part of the carnival. And she's been getting worried about Sire's behavior. Sire is a robot person. He's actually the son of, Prince Robot, Prince Robot 4, who I believe is dead now. I gotta go back and look at, I think he died. He's definitely not in the picture right now. That's why he's an orphan. But Sire's mental health is really bad right now. He's in a really bad place. And so Alana released to showcase why she's such a great parent. She does make a lot of mistakes, but I feel like Alana is always there when it counts. And so in this issue, we get to see some of her parenting skills that she's learned and had to adapt with because of the situations that they're in. And it's beautiful, man. It's really nice, and it's really cool to see. The Will, who is a bounty hunter who has been hunting them, well, he's dealing with the fallout of losing one of his close friends, or kind of like an adoptive child, Sophie, who died in the last couple of issues. And he's taking it really bad. In fact, he's taking a lot of drugs because he's taking it so bad. Also, he has Gwendolyn with him, who is the ex-fiance of Marco, who is or was, spoilers, Alana's husband. And that, so Marco's ex-fiance Gwendolyn, who's with the Will, who they have a weird, strange relationship. She's also high as shit right now. They're all on like freaking heroin or whatever. And so they're kind of dealing with all that, and it's not going well for them. Like, this is definitely a PSA about mental health. Like, get help. Don't do drugs. But while all this is happening, the Will needs to really get his crap together, because it looks like someone from the Robot Kingdom wants him dead now. And that's all for the name of peace, though, so it's cool, right? Right? Then we have the boss of the carnival that Alana works for. He's he's recently discovered someone in the carnival has been sending out encrypted messages, which is no bueno, man. First off, because people who send out encrypted messages are usually doing one of two things: selling someone out or selling drugs, which are both no-no in the carnival business, or his carnival business for sure. And so is it a customer? Is it someone closer to Alana and her family? Who knows? Hazel has a friend that she really wants to get close to and really share things with. And things have been kind of really tense between them. Like what's been going on with Sire. Just kind of like the cyclical nature of a carnival and the people who work there and how they leave. Her friend, feels like she's going to be abandoned soon, and Hazel doesn't want her to feel that way. So Hazel decides to share the most important secret that she can with her, one that could get Hazel or this girl or anyone in her family killed if it gets released to the public. And that's, she has both horns and wings. Eventually, we get the reveal of who the encrypted caller has been, and it gets dealt with. Turns out that wasn't the only person making encrypted calls, though. And who is this person? Why is he contacting someone outside? And finally, Alana ends up discovering who this other person is. And, like, what's going to happen? Are they going to fight and stuff like that? But it turns out he has a message for her. And that's why he's been sending out these encrypted messages. And it's about Alana's father, and that his health is getting a lot worse. And so what's going to happen in issue 72? I'm believing we're going to be making a trip to Alana's home world, like kind of basically the forefront of the war. Well, I say that, but the war has since moved away from the two main planets, the planet and its moon, because as it's discussed in the comic book, is if one were to destroy the other, it would destroy the orbit of said planets or bodies, earthly bodies, and doom them both. So they move the wars to far off foreign lands to fight each other that way. So interesting that they will be going back to the source, so to speak. And it'll be really interesting to see Alana's parents, or at least one parent we know for sure, because we'll get to see what made her the way she is. the really messed up but loving and caring way that she is. But yeah, man, like super excited stuff. I love just what's been going on with Saga. I love these characters and their different journeys through this life and through their ups and downs and their struggles, and seeing them start to interact with each other again, which is really cool and really funny. And what's interesting is you see these characters in one light at one point, and then you see the struggles that they're going with and the things that they're dealing with, and you see how it affects them and makes them who they are. And you realize that not everyone is like, it's good and evil is not black and white all the time. And that's what I love so much about this book, is like people that you have really hated have these arcs where you realize that, oh, I don't hate them so much. Like, oh, I see why they're acting the way they are. And now you kind of start rooting for them in certain ways. And then there's people that you've cared about and love, and then they really upset you because they make poor decisions and you're just frustrated. But that's like life, man, And that's why I love Saga so much. It is such a beautiful story, man. And it works so well as a comic book. And I don't want them to make I think in the past I've been like, yes, let's make an animated series out of this or stuff. No, just leave it as a comic. Don't touch my perfection. Just leave it as is. That's all I need. But anyways, guys, that's all. That's all that I got, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed listening to me. Like I said, not too long of an episode, just kind of rambling a little bit, talking about my favorite comic book and talking about some stuff in the Nifty Nerd News. All in a quiet NPR voice to just help you drift off into sleep. Anyway. Oh, wake up. You're driving. No. So yeah, that's all I got this week. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the Bry-Fy podcast. And if you want me to review games, movies, comics, like anything in pop culture that you think I'm not covering enough of, or you'd like to hear my opinion on, please let me know, because I need friends. I like talking to y'all. All I do right now is play Clone Hero, The Division 2, Pokemon Pocket, and Pokemon cards. I just collect Pokemon cards because I'm addicted, and then watch TikTok because thank God it's back. I don't know what I was going to do if TikTok wasn't coming back. I was getting ready to download Red Note like everyone else. I was going to literally sell my info to the Chinese government, and then I didn't because TikTok came back. But yeah, man. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else has been going on. Nothing. I've been pricing my Pokemon cards. That's what's been going on. I've been pricing my Pokemon cards because I'm planning on joining a farmer's market soon in my local community and trying to sell my wares there. Like I've talked about before, I got tons of these homemade booster packs that I've just been accumulating, and I need to get rid of them. We got rid of some during Halloween, which was a lot of fun, and kids seem to really like those. But I didn't make a huge dent at all in what I've accomplished, or like what I've built up my stock of cards. So we're gonna try going out to a market days and sell them some cheap, like $2 each or something, like where I get a little bit of money back to kind of help build more and do it again next year. Because that would be fun. Like do it yearly where I'm just coming out selling these cards and stuff, because like me and Casey, one of the things we always talk about when we go around our market days is like how much it kind of sucks that there's not too many things that we find enjoyment of there. It's a lot of like older woodwork things, though some of the cool stuff has been, there's like, what is it, the freeze dried candies. There's been a booth there that does that. In fact, a lot of people are kind of doing that now because they realize how popular it is, which kind of sucks that like you find a little bit at every booth, but there is one booth that like that's all they do. They make their big freeze dried candies, and they got a huge display of them, and they give out samples and stuff. So it's really great. Then there's a guy, he comes out every now and then. He brings like old collectible toys, and sometimes he has baseball cards, which I really like. Every now and then he's got some Pokemon cards, which has been kind of cool to see. But like he doesn't specifically cater to that stuff, so it'd be really cool to have like a trading card table or a trading card booth where that's what they have, man. And so that's what I'm going to try to be the guy with the trading cards. And I got baseball, I got Pokemon, I got Magic the Gathering, Lorcana, One Piece. So I'm going to bring those all out, let the kids check them out and see if they want to buy some and things like that. And then I got some high dollar cards, like, the ones that are behind lock and key type cards that, you would see at big card shows, those kind of cards. And so maybe some people would like to check those out. And I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, thank y'all so much for being a part of this. Follow my socials. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Snapchat. I'm on Blue Sky now. That's a new thing. What else do I do? Twitch. Yeah, that's it. Oh, and TikTok. Everything is at Bry-Fy podcast. That's Bry-Fy podcast. You can also find me on YouTube. I've been posting some videos, and I got a couple out here recently of me opening up some Pokemon cards, and I got highlights of me playing video games and stuff like that. And you can always find my episodes if you don't like to use podcatcher apps, like Apple Podcasts or Google Play and all that. You can just do YouTube, man. Like I know some places you can't Oh, well, I mean, some places you can't even get on YouTube depending on your work, but like there are ways to listen to me, okay? Anyways, that's it. I'm gonna leave for real this time. I know I always try to sign off like 3 or 4 times before I like my ADHD brain kicks in. It's like, oh yeah, you need to talk about that. Oh wait, you need to talk about that. But yeah, for real. I'll talk to you guys later. Bry-Fy out.